Hey everybody, it's me, Jose Segura, your SMEEA president. Welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat with the President. Awesome to see you all. Happy Friday. It's the last Friday of October. It's payday. It's retro payday. And so a lot of good things happening today. So hopefully you had a good, strong week. I know it started out with that crazy rain, right? But these last few days have been beautiful. Hopefully this weekend will be as well, and you'll be able to get out and enjoy it. All right, got a lot to do today, so let's get started. Let's start with site visits. Last year, I didn't get a chance to do any site visits. I love coming out to the sites, meeting members, talking to folks, passing out the cookies, having a good time. But, in these times, it's really not a good idea. So what I decided to do is I've decided to do virtual site visits. That's right. I'll be there virtually, but the cookies will be there in person. So that's still going to happen. I'm going to figure out how to make it work, but it's going to work. So site visits will begin on Tuesday. The first site is going to be Tunnel Elementary. So Tunnel, I'll see you on Tuesday. If you're a site rep and you have not done this yet, please click on that link that was in your Rep Council packet, where you can let me know what's the earliest lunch at your site and what time does the last lunch end. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out a Zoom link to the entire staff, the certificated staff at your site, and I'm going to have that Zoom link open for the full length of the lunch period, whatever that is, whenever the first one starts and the last one ends. And I'll be there. You can pop in virtually, say hi, ask questions. We can chat amongst ourselves, whatever you want to do. Each site will get a unique Zoom link. That way we're not sharing Zoom links from sites, just in case somebody accidentally pops in on a day that's not theirs. I really want to focus on the folks who are at that site. So Tunnel, I will see you on Tuesday. If you want to know when your site is scheduled for your SMEEA President site visit, go back to the email that this video was attached to, and you'll see a list of all the sites and the dates those visits are scheduled. Awesome. Elementary night conferences. I know this has been a huge debate back and forth over the last several days, the last week or two, and we have been pushing this with the district because we believe that they are misreading their own language, that they are misinterpreting and misapplying the language that was negotiated. To be 100% clear, we believe that the language requires that a night conference is scheduled for the site, but that folks are not required to participate in that night conference. Now, of course, if you schedule night conferences with your parents, that's the night it will be. We also believe that scheduling of conferences should be a relationship and a conversation between the parents and the teacher, not the parents, the teachers, and the site administrator and district administration. Like, they should not be involved in that conversation at all. You know your parents, they know you. This is your opportunity to connect with them, to have a conversation about their student, and it should be at a place and a time, well, not a place, but at a time and a date that works for the two of you. And so please go back to the email that this video was attached to. There's a lot of information about where we are with night conferences. Bottom line is, do not be insubordinate. If you are directed by your administrator to appear at the designated night conference date and time, please do so. Being insubordinate leads to a lot of other problems, and we don't want to add problems on top of problems. But I will tell you right now, because we believe that this is a violation of our current contract language, the first day that the first site holds mandatory night conferences, we will be filing a grievance. So please go back to the email this video was attached to. Read through the text that's there. That's everything we want you to know. It's all laid out. We're trying to give you as much information as we can about what's happened, what the district's position is, what our position is, and how we move forward on this. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. I know this has been confusing, so thank you all for your patience on this item, on this issue, and we hope to come to some form of resolution. I won't be before this particular round of conferences occurs. I know that I can tell you that right now, but we hope to rectify this soon. So thank you very much for your patience so far and ongoing into the future. All right, folks, now it's your next episode of Get to Know a Leader. Last time we got together, we met Kristen Lohr, who is our SMEEA First Vice President. So this time, let's take a few minutes to get to know Marissa Feely, SMEEA Second Vice President. Okay, hey everybody. So I am here with Marissa Feely. This is another episode of Get to Know SMEEA Leader. So how's it going, Marissa? Good to see you.
Hi. Good.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. It's Friday where we are. So hopefully, if you're watching this video, it's a Friday where you are also. So let's get started. Tell everybody who you are, and let's start with, what do you do for the district?
All right, I am Marisa Philly, as he said. I am a resource teacher here at Battles Elementary, and I have been doing this for 3 years as resource, but I was a special educator in a special day class before that.
Awesome. Okay, so you've had some different experiences. And so tell us, what is it you do currently for the union?
Currently, I am your second vice president.
Awesome. Now, how long have you been second vice president?
Just this year.
Okay. I was going to say, including today. And then before you were second vice president, did you have a role at SMEEA?
Yes, I was your third vice president for 5 or 6 years. 5 years.
Awesome. And then before that?
I was just a rep. I shouldn't say just a rep.
No.
It's a lot of work. I was a rep.
That's awesome. And so how long have you been a member?
I have been a member since 2012.
Correct. So those of you at home doing the math for yourself, that's going to be what? 9 years?
10 years?
10 years? Something like that. Okay. So tell the folks a little bit about you. Who is Marisa Feely, and what's her life like?
So I am a mom. I am a wife. I have 2 little boys, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So that's kind of my marker as to when I started in leadership. I ran for vice president, and then I had a baby. So that was very interesting, trying to balance everything. But yeah, we go to the lake a lot. We just started soccer, so that's been fun. Yeah, we just live our life with our kids and playing with our friends and barbecuing, and we're simple people. We don't get to travel much, mostly probably because of COVID. But yeah, I don't know.
But it all still sounds like fun. A lot of the things that most of us hopefully get a chance to do, right? Spend time with our families, with our friends, enjoying the things that kind of bring us joy. And speaking of bringing us joy, tell us a little bit about the work that you do for SMEEA. Now, you were third vice president. Now you moved over to second vice president. So what's that like?
So this year, my role switched over from CNI to LMC and COT, which is the Central Organizing Team and Labor Management Committee. Mm-hmm. Okay. And too many acronyms.
Yeah.
And so that's been a shift, especially with changes in the district level. But I try to work with the district team and our SMEEA team on making sure that we are resolving any labor management issues at our LMC meetings every month. And COT, we have yet to get started, but we're hopeful. But that, again, is also kind of a layer into our curriculum and instruction and the organization between curriculum adoptions and things like that. I also run our SMEEA store. Of course, I'm not wearing my SMEEA gear. That was yesterday. But we just got a cool bunch of new swag. And I have a lot of fun doing that. I like to organize all the fun, swaggy things and get our name out there. So, pens and pencils and notepads and water bottles and our new teacher stuff. It's all the fun things, and getting our members in a uniform is kind of a fun thing for me.
Definitely kind of a uniform, right? With all the different options that we have available to us. Now, it sounds like all these things you do, you're a full-time classroom teacher. So I'm assuming you're doing all this on the outside of your contract day. So why do it, right? Why take time from your personal life? Your job's already hard. Why step up and take on the role of third or second vice president and serving the union members?
I learned a lot when I first started. I did a lot of the outside work. I worked from home. I stayed late. I, worked all the time. And then when I became a rep, I learned so much about our contract that I never heard or knew, just from sitting in on our monthly meetings. Like, hey, did you know that you're supposed to get paid to do this? And I was like, wait a minute, what? So it opened my eyes to what was actually there in our contract. So I just like sharing that information. I get texts from people all the time like, hey, is this allowed to happen? Or can my administrator change this? or just double checking what code do I put in when I put in the subsystem for this. I just told a partner teacher about, they changed the number. It's a new number now. I think it's like 5.3 or something, like 5.2.3. But where you can sign out for an hour if you had an emergency.
That section of our Article 5 contract.
Yeah, well, this is like the best hidden gem of our whole contract. People need to know. And she was like, I had no idea. I'm like, yes, everyone needs to know the secrets of our contract. So that is like my biggest motivator, is knowing where our contract can lead us and bind us and kind of hold us to where our job is.
And that's awesome. And you're right. So that's essentially the scope of our contract, right? It's the box that defines the work that we do. And if you don't know where all the edges are, sometimes you go beyond them and not knowing that that's what you've done. And sometimes you never get up to the edge because you don't know the edge is there, right? So
don't get me wrong. I still do work outside of work, but I also limit myself.
Well, that's great. Hey, Melissa, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. Folks I think are going to get to know you a little bit better, or be able to reach out to you, whether it's for SMEEA swag or second vice president questions or whatever it happens to be. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great interview. Hey, thanks a lot, Melissa, for that. I hope you at home got an opportunity to maybe know her a little bit more and a little better. Options for COVID sick time relief. Now, here's what's happening. Many of you are being excluded from your sites because of COVID-related issues. And because the state's supplemental paid sick leave expired on September 30th, the assumption was that, well, if you have to be excluded from your site, that time away from the site is going to come from your personal sick leave. Well, there were actually a couple of options that may apply. And there's a lot of details of this, and I tried to put them in the text so that you can read through it and really kind of understand it and get a better feel for it. So if you go back to the email that this video was attached to that section on options for COVID sick time, you'll see that there are a couple of options that are available out there in the state. One is the DIR time, and you'll take a look at that information in the email that this video was attached to, and also workers' comp. And one or both of these might apply to you based on your circumstances. Now, just to be clear, both of these options may apply if your exclusion from the workplace is due to exposure in the workplace. And really that's on the employer to prove that it wasn't, right? Whether you tested positive or there was an exposure, you were exposed to someone at the school site, whether it's a student or another staff member. If it's from the work site, then one of these two options may be available to you. Now, if it's not from the work site, if you were a close contact or you've contracted COVID and tested positive because of an exposure outside the workplace, then neither of these options are available to you and you will have to use your personal sick day. So please go back to the email this video was attached to. Read through that text information. There's also links there to forms you can file and information about how to file. All right? So thank you very much. And I know this has been a question that's been coming up. People are wondering, why do I have to use my own sick time? And here's a couple of options that may allow you not to have to do that. All right, CTA conferences are still going on, so go back to the email this video was attached to. You'll see the remaining CTA conferences for this year and into next. Some of them are virtual, some of them are in person. If you want to go to a virtual conference, just click on the link, get yourself registered. It's as easy as that. CTA is still offering university credits for attending these conferences. So as you attend the conferences and go through the sessions, you'll acquire, which is essentially CTA continuing education units. You can convert those to Cal State University, actual university credits, and there's a process for that. Once you register for a conference, you'll get information about how to convert your attendance credits for university credits that can be applied to our salary schedule to move you up on the salary schedule. So there's a few great events that are coming up. In fact, the Special Education Conference is going to be next weekend. That is a virtual conference. Should be pretty awesome. The guest speaker is going to be Temple Grande, and if you're a big fan of hers, this will be an opportunity for you to hear Dr. Grande speak out loud, or speak in person, sorry. Also on Sunday morning, there's going to be an additional session that's just been added, and it's going to go over the new special education credentials that are going to begin in the next year or two, or next year or so. So the mild to moderate to severe credentials are being modified, they're being changed, they're actually being renamed as well. They're broadening the scope of what types of students that these folks can service. So if you want to know more about that, sign up for the Special Education Conference and go to the special session on Sunday. So that's CTA Conferences. They're available to you as a CTA member. PD for me's are still going on. That's right. Tell you what, this coming Tuesday, November 2nd, is going to be a screening of the brand new movie Dune. It's going to be at 4 p.m. at the theater in Santa Maria. If you're interested, go back to the email this video was attached to, click on the link and get yourself signed up so that they know you are coming. Junior high folks, I know that's kind of a tight time frame for you, a 4 p.m. movie, but you know, most movies don't start till after 15, 20 minutes after the start time. So go ahead and get on down there. If you're a junior high teacher and you're going to be coming, make sure you contact Christina Valadez, not only in the form, but also maybe give her a call or send her an email or a text message. Let her know you're coming so that she can wait for you, make sure you get your ticket and you come on in. So the next movie club experience is going to be this coming Tuesday, November 2nd. The movie is going to be Dune at 4 p.m. Next beer club event is going to be later on in this month. I believe it's the Wednesday after next. Go back to the email this video was attached to. It'll give you the dates and the times for the next beer club event, which is going to be at Naughty Oak here in Orchid. And then, of course, we still have ukulele classes. They just started last week. Super exciting for that. If you've always wanted to learn how to play, or if you know how to play and you want to expand your skill set, Stephanie Douglas is the teacher for you. Go back to the email this video was attached to. Get yourself all signed up. Those classes are at Kuntz Junior High School from 4 to 5 p.m. And so go ahead and go back to the email that this video was attached to so you can look at the actual date and day of the week and time that is being offered. Get yourself all signed up. Last but not least, we have the retirement of Mr. Antivirus. That's right, our superintendent, Mr. Antivirus, announced his retirement at Wednesday's school board meeting. It was the very last announcement, the very, very end of the school board meeting. It was kind of a short school board meeting, so it wasn't that far into the night. But as of December 31st, 2021, Mr. Antivirus will have concluded his final work day for our district, and he will be retired at that point. He's leaving us mid-year. This is not necessarily unheard of. It happens in districts quite often where superintendents do not finish out a school year for whatever reason. Mr. Antivirus was clear at the board meeting that this wasn't his original plan. So tell you what, go back to the email this video was attached to, click on the link to his comments, and you can actually hear straight from him what happened, what's going on, and what his plan is, all right? And so I do want to let you know that as community members, as district employees, we are really actively going to pursue inclusion in the process for selecting the next school board meeting, not just us as employees and as certificated folks, but also really integrating the community, getting input from parents and community members, that kind of stuff. If you have an interest in that type of organizing, go back to the email this video was attached to, go down to the very last section, which is the announcement of Mr. Antivirus' retirement. Click on the link and let us know who you are. We'd love to have you join us. We're going to be working with other community organizations. We've already started to do some outreach. We really want to meet our parents and our families and our community members where they are and get input from them and be able to allow them an opportunity to be part of the process, because the superintendent of a school district like ours is an important person, and they're a big part of who our community is. Our schools are in every corner of the Santa Maria Valley, and our kids come from every single neighborhood. And so either you have kids in school, you have relatives who are in our schools, or you went to our schools yourselves. And so if you have an interest in getting involved in that, we'd love to have you join us. Go back to the email this video was attached to, click on the link, and let us know who you are. All right, that's all I got. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we will see you soon.